Hello. Maybe some of you do not know me. My name is Lodro Rinzler, and I am a bit of a mess this evening, as I imagine many of you are. And this is a Tonglen session, compassion practice for our dear friend Jamie Zimmerman. And Jamie passed away a few days ago. Many of us just found out today. And I imagine in the coming days, many people will come forward and offer some beautiful words about her and how they have been deeply affected by her and her legacy. And I have to admit to you, I learned of this tragedy 12 hours ago, and I'm still in shock, and I have no beautiful words. I have no beautiful words at all. I look forward to them. I look forward to maybe even them coming to me. But at this time, all I can do is practice with you. So I thought we could do that together. And many of you know, evangelist even. And, Jamie came to the Institute for Compassionate Leadership, which is the nonprofit I founded a few years ago. And she was part of our first cohort, our first class. And a lot of what we do is meditation. We actually did the practice that we're going to do tonight, which is known as Tonglen. And I had a great pleasure of meeting with her every week because of the Institute for Compassionate Leadership for 6 months, some years ago. And we remained friends since. And I consider it a great gift to have received her friendship. As I said, no beautiful words tonight, only practice. There's one disclaimer for this particular practice, which is if you don't have a meditation practice, you might find this very difficult. So I really do think that Tonglen is more of a advanced practice for people who have an established practice within a particular tradition. I'm happy to talk with anyone who might have a lot coming up as a result of this practice. I'm very easily reachable at lodrorinzler@gmail.com, and we can have a phone conversation if you prefer. But I would like to assume that a lot of the people that know Jamie met her through some meditation communities, and you might have a practice already, and this may not seem so far-fetched what we're going to do. Tonglen is a very ancient practice. It's a very powerful practice. And there's really, in my mind, sometimes people say, well, is this really for that person? What if that person's dead? The first aspect is that I would like to think that this helps. I would like to think that this practice for Jamie helps her in whatever state she currently is. I would like to believe that. And then the other half of this is that it's good for us. It's helpful for us to work with some of the energy that we're dealing with as a result of this incredible tragedy. Let's sit. I'll guide us through each step of the way, but let's begin by taking a good meditation posture. Our feet firmly on the ground if we're in a chair, or if we're on a cushion, our legs loosely crossed. You want to feel your sits bones digging into the seat beneath you. Just, if you're like me, you've been running around and maybe a little bit in your head today, land in your body, land in your physical body. And you could even take a deep breath at this time, just to physically be here. And from the strong base, we can actually elongate upwards through the spine while relaxing the muscles in our shoulders and our back. We're not trying to get uptight. We're not lifting with the shoulders. We allow them to relax. And we can even place our palms down on our thighs, which would give us a little bit of extra support for our back. Our chin is slightly tucked in. We can bring that sense of relaxation also to the muscles in our face, allowing our muscles around our eyes and our cheeks and our jaw to relax. If it's helpful, you could place your tongue up against the roof of your mouth, allowing for clear breathing. And I'd like to invite you to make a conscious decision at this point to either keep your eyes open, in which case you can rest your gaze a little bit ahead of you on the ground, maybe 2 to 4 feet, or close your eyes, which is also completely okay. And let's begin by bringing our full attention to our breathing. Just the natural cycle of the breath. We don't have to force it in any way. Just allow it to occur as it always does. But we'll bring our full attention to both the out breath and the in breath. At some point, you'll notice that it's hard to stay focused on just the breathing. A lot might be coming up for you. What's coming up for me? And if that's happening, I'd like to invite you to switch this very slightly by breathing in whatever you're feeling. Sadness, agitation, anger, resistance, and accepting it with kindness. So on the out breath, on the exhalation, we breathe out our sense of well-being, ease, offering ourselves a sense of calm or a sense of spaciousness. It's a little bit of a twist on the traditional Tonglen for people who know this practice very well, but I realize that a lot might be coming up for us in this moment. This is something that Joan Halifax Roshi recommends, that starting with us is important. So we breathe in whatever we're feeling. And breathe out on the exhalation, sense of well-being and spaciousness. And if you're noticing that not a lot is coming up for you and you just want to stay with the breath, stay with the breath. It is, of course, completely fine. That's our main instruction, to just stay with the breath for the moment. But if a lot is coming up, acknowledge it. Accept it with kindness. And offer yourself some spaciousness and well-being, calm. And I'd like to echo my disclaimer from earlier, that if you are a new meditator, this might be a good place to stay. Staying with the breath and then offering yourself the sense of ease around some of the emotions that you're feeling. But for people who have an established practice, we'll continue on into the Tonglen practice. And I invite you to, this moment, just raise your gaze up to the horizon. Just relax your mind for a second. Dropping the object of the meditation. Allowing for an experience of gap. And then returning our attention to the breath. We're going to start working with a sense of texture. So on our in-breath, we imagine that we're inhaling a sense of heaviness, hot air. And on the out-breath, we visualize that we're exhaling cool, light air. And let's experiment with this for a few minutes. We'll continue with this pattern, breathing in this heaviness and breathing out this lightness, until it's a little bit familiar with us, familiar to us. This sense of heaviness is essentially suffering, and the lightness is well-being. Breathing in the hot, heavy air, exhaling light, cool air, a sense of freshness. Now I invite you to get a little bit bigger. Imagine that you're breathing through all of the pores of your body. So on the in-breath, that hot and heavy air enters through every pore. And on the out-breath, that sense of coolness flows from every pore. Now we're going to shift our contemplation slightly, where we will bring someone to mind. In this case, it's Jamie Zimmerman. In other cases, it might be someone else that you care deeply about. And we imagine what they might be going through at this time. And if you're not into the idea that they are still out there in some sense, it could be what they went through before they died. From a Buddhist point of view, it's incredibly confusing to be separated from your body. Your consciousness is probably experiencing a lot of fear, agitation, maybe some anger. So all of the things we might be feeling, this consciousness, this person we love, may be feeling right now. So having become familiar with that, we can stay with the suffering of this being, in this case, our dear friend, Jamie. So we have this aspiration, we would do anything to help this person, be with this person, feel what they're experiencing. So we let our whole being turn toward that suffering and our wish that that suffering might be relieved. This might look different for you than it will for me. For me, I breathe in any sense of fear that she may be experiencing and offer a sense of calm or peace or clarity, a sense of anger, a sense of coolness on the out-breath. Breathing in a sense of agitation, confusion, sense of well-being, peace. Whatever this means to you, whatever you might imagine had been or currently is the suffering that Jamie is experiencing or was experiencing. We breathe that in on the in-breath and we offer whatever we can in the hopes that this person might be relieved from that suffering on the out-breath. Whatever we have within us to offer, we offer. Whatever feeling of calm we might be able to muster, we offer. Whatever feeling of peace we have within us, we offer. And let's try to hold our mind to breathing in this suffering that Jamie experienced or experiences and offering whatever we can on the out-breath. All of these good things, lightness, calm, clarity, confidence. Peace. Just peace. That's good too. And now we get a little bit bigger. And getting bigger can mean two different things, really. We bring into mind either other people who we know are probably suffering from this loss, Jamie's mother Jordan, friends of Jamie's, community members. I'm particularly holding a number of the people in the Institute for Compassionate Leadership in my mind right now. Or it could be other people who are recently deceased or mourning recently deceased people, people who are going through what we're going through. And we hold them in our mind, either their image or the feeling of them or their name. And we do the same process with them, breathing in whatever suffering we might imagine that they might be encountering at this time, and then offering on the out breath any sense of relief, calm, health, safety, whatever it might be that we want to offer or feel that we can offer in this moment. And then when you're ready, you can drop the contemplation, the Tonglen practice itself, and return your attention to your breathing. Allowing yourself to just rest and feel the out breath and the in breath. Okay, if you have your eyes closed, you can open your eyes or raise your gaze if you had your eyes open. I want to just acknowledge that Tonglen can be a very overwhelming practice. And I want to say again, if you have any questions, you can email me at lodrorinsler@gmail.com. I'm happy to have a dialogue about it. And that this really is an advanced practice. This is not for beginning meditators. For beginning meditators, I invite you to stick with that initial part of being with the breath and being with whatever you're feeling and offering yourself some sense of ease and calm and well-being and spaciousness. And I'll just close by quoting the Zen master Sung San. And at one point he said, "How much do you believe in yourself? How much do you help other people? These are the most important questions. And as I was flipping through these pages earlier today, I thought of Jamie, and I thought of this. She was a woman who really knew that she had a lot to offer, and she believed in herself, and she had a real aspiration to help other people. So I feel like she had answered the most important questions. And I only wish that she had more time to take that work further. So thank you for being with me in my broken heart. I'll leave this practice online. I guess it goes on YouTube for some days if you want to do this again and be guided, but you can also do this again without being guided. Go through that steps of sitting, breathing, and whatever you're feeling, taking that moment of gap, working with the texture, the out-breath and the in-breath being hot, and then offering cold on the out-breath, and then entering into working with the person, in this case Jamie, for some period of time, and then getting a little bit bigger, including other people in her life or your life or other people who might be going through something similar. And then at the end, very important to return to the breath, return to grounding yourself in your body. Okay. Please take good care of yourself.